Hey, welcome back. So this is going to be the next upcoming projects for the next few weeks. I call it a table saw station because it's multiple tools in one. The big idea with all this was dust collection. All these tools are hooked up to one dust collector and the cyclone in the back here. And what it's made up of is a table saw station. You got a router table station. You got a jigsaw station, which is like a mini bandsaw. And then you have a downdraft table for sanding. And then when that's not in use, it's an extension table for larger stock. So let's take a closer look at it. So for this, the entire table saw setup had to be rearranged. The fence was no longer good because the stock fence that came with it, it needed a back rail and that wasn't gonna work with the extension table. So I put in my own fence, just a simple contraption here. As soon as you clamp it down, it will self flush against this long beam. And no matter where you are, even if you're off by a little bit, as soon as you clamp it, it will pull itself straight. I also added this, or bought this little magnet. As soon as you put it down the table, twist it on, won't go anywhere. So if I have a large piece that I'm running across, I'll put it against the fence. Let's say it's on the other side of the table saw blade. Turn it on, and that fence won't bend at all. Not that it's a problem anyway when I'm using a smaller piece. I mean, that doesn't go anywhere. But slides right across, no problem. And it's a nice setup. And then again, I have the downdraft table in the back, long extension table, so I can use larger stock without any problem at all. So this is the router table section. We have a router mounted underneath. I'm not going to do a video on this. I'm just going to show you what I did because there's a lot of videos out there on levels and extensions for your table saw. It's pretty much the same thing. I have a large hole for the dust collection because that is the big key with this whole setup, is that all these tools are hooked up to my dust collection, but I'll get to that in a little bit. The fence that goes with it, it's large, has the ability to slide back and forth. And again, the dust collection will suck up all that dust anywhere in the blade. It's been working really well, actually. So the next station is the jigsaw station. Keep my blades down here in this drawer. And the blades that I have are actually really big. I mean, that's a 10-inch jigsaw blade. It looks like a reciprocating saw blade, but it's actually for a jigsaw. So for a blade this big, to keep the wobble down, it also needed a beam going across it. I don't really have it tightened down right now. But got the plate there, can access all the parts I need. Just drop that blade in there. Shut the door or leave it open depending on how much dust I think I'm gonna collect. I mean, I got a 6-inch port dust collector here, so sucking it through a little hole like this, or if I had to put the guard on, leave the door open too, so I have enough suction going through. But yeah, I can cut pieces that are about 4 inches high with this, or I can use a smaller jigsaw blade, which comes to about this high, take this guard off, and then I have free rein anywhere on the table. So with the table station this big, I want the ability to move it around and get anywhere in the shop. So if I'm working with a very large piece of wood, like let's say a piece of plywood, maybe I want to turn the piece a little bit. So what I did is the whole unit is on like big caster wheels, and I have these lockdowns to keep it down on the ground. So I'll undo these, undo the ones in the back, and then the whole unit will actually flip around. So let me flip it around, I'll show you the downdraft table. So here's the downdraft section of the table. It also acts as the extension table like I mentioned before. So as soon as I cut a piece, I can bring it right over here. All these holes are 3/4 inches. So they'll work with dogs on a regular bench. If I need to clamp something down, keep it from moving this way, or use a hold fast to hold it down, this can also do it. You just change the port on your dust collection, and then all these holes will suck down whatever dust is around. Down below, I got some sanding blocks down here, and then my drawer with all my sanding equipment. So whatever I need, it's right here. Cut a piece, sand it, and then I'm done. So when I was designing this table saw station, any areas that were open, I either put a drawer or storage into. And one of those areas would be the far side of the table saw station. So here I made a clamp rack. Really simple, just a couple 2x4s, didn't do anything fancy to it, didn't round any edges. It was just it's actually a last minute addition. But it works really well because I can have all my clamps right here that I have in the shop, depending on what size they are. They're all here and I can keep them stored away. That's a 36-inch. So that's about as big as I can fit here. And then I also got 30s in the back. These are 24s, and then I think those are 6s. But I used that area and worked out really well for clamps. So before I rotate the table saw station all the way around, I showed you the sanding station drawers and stuff like that. I have another very deep drawer here with a lot of rechargeable tools and things like that stored here. There's more storage here, and that's for some more circular saws and things like that. So let's rotate it around. So we're back at the front of the table saw station. Here I have a lot more storage. So, I mean, this is mostly empty. I got my Dremel tool, my oscillating tool, an iron for doing banding along plywood and stuff like that. That storage there. Got another drawer here. Sanders, miscellaneous tools, Jigsaw, Craig jig tool. This one's just a little tiny drawer for table saw attachments, push sticks, things like that. It's all right here. And then I have another long deep drawer that I have a router and all the router parts and things like that. So this is the heart of the table saw station. The whole idea of putting all these tools together was to get one main area for dust collection. Instead of having each of these tools having a dedicated line and having to run all the tubes through the ceiling, everything's together on one station. Now to change each one, for instance, right now it's hooked up to the downdraft table. Then I can slide it over. Now I'm on the table saw station. Then I'm on the router table, and then the last one's the jigsaw. Now there's a whole layer in here of the table. So you have storage on the bottom. Then this whole layer here, about 6 inches, is all the routing for all the dust collection. And then after that, it's the tools and whatever storage I have above that. For instance, the clamp rack. So all these work together, and depending on what I want, just slide this adapter over, and then the tool has the dust collection that I need. All right, so we're gonna start this build with doing the base and the vacuum layer there with all the different ducts going to the dust collection. And from there, then we'll move on to the downdraft table, then the jigsaw station, and then putting the whole thing together with the drawers. Stay tuned.